All right. Hope you guys are all doing well this morning. Good morning. It is Friday, start of quarter two of the SC2 push. We just finished up yesterday for quarter one. And I talked about yesterday that in the first quarter of the push, that's where we're going to start to really get momentum rolling. But a lot of our CPO it hasn't happened yet. We've sold a bunch of Cutcos so far. Yesterday, we sold a little over $44,000 divisionally. But for your percentage CPO-wise, you're probably not right now at 20 or 25%. You're probably more at like 12 to 15% of your CPO for the push. Some of you, maybe even 10% of your CPO for the push, just strictly because of schedule, building momentum, a couple things like that as we get started into the push. Guys, this morning we have Justin Ford speaking on Flatware. We're going to dive into that here in a minute. I do want to recognize everybody over $1,000 for the day yesterday on our alliance. We had Alec Jones from Greenville Clemson at $4,242. I made a comment yesterday that we got a lot of people at $1,000, $2,000. I'm excited to see some people over $3,000 and $4,000. And we had some people step up and get over $3,000 and $4,000 yesterday. Alec over $4,000 yesterday. Cordell Bland, $3,739. Two of those were phone orders that were about, I think, close to $2,000 via phone orders. Mary Mae Schuessler at $2,736. Went into the day with 7 demos, completed 5. It's hard not to sell 2 or 3 grand on 5 demos. So great job, Mary Mae. Biggest day of her career. John Kelm at $2,194. Andrew Kirsch from Columbia, $1,974. Evan Craig, $1,900 from the Pilot. Andrew Busby, $1,895 from Columbia. Tristan James, $1,815 from Beaufort. Now over $5,000 for the push for Tristan. Zach Bozer from Greenville Clemson, $1,779. Callie Whitfield, $1,382. William Abernathy, $1,238. Ben Martin from GSP, $1,230. Andy D'Annunzio, $1,160. That's while having her phone stolen yesterday and customers couldn't even get a hold of her. Dealt with a little adversity, but still made it happen. Keisha Rivera, $1,042. James Nettles, $1,011 for Sumter. Guys, we had some people with tires blow out yesterday. We had some people with cell phones getting stolen. Hey, bring it on, baby. It's SC2. I'm going to hand things over to Justin Ford this morning. Justin, I want to thank you for being willing to share a little bit. Justin, dive in to adding on Flatware to your arsenal. We've sold a few Flatware chests, but not a ton of Flatware sets sold for the push yet. I got a feeling that after Justin finishes up today, we're going to go drop some Flatware chests and add on some Flatware to our orders. So we're going to see some of our orders go from $1,000, $1,500 to turn into $2,000 and $3,000 orders after some of the material that you guys hear today. So, Justin, thank you so much for being willing to share. Justin has offered to share with you guys once a week during the push period. Today he's going to share on Flatware. Next week he's going to share on cookware. And then the last week we'll be finishing the push strong in the last 48 hours. So, Justin, I'm going to hand things over to you. Can you hear us okay?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
We can. I'm going to make you the presenter view. And if you're not Justin Ford, if you could mute out, that would be great.
Awesome. So, yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for, it's so crazy being here in the push and thinking back to my first SC2 and we didn't even have web conferences like this and the opportunity to connect the whole division. And I just think about how much we've grown as a company, but also as a team here in the Coastal Division. And it's such an honor to be here where, I used to be like scribbling down notes from people that would speak in our local office, but now I'm the one that's able to give this type of message. So I'm really blessed by that. And I'm just excited to bring the goods for you guys this morning. So the reason I wanted to talk about Flatware and cookware, just to do a quick recap is, we know our biggest focus with Cutco is on the knives. We know that that's where our managers and our leadership team and those that are helping us build our business and build our lifestyle with Cutco have put the majority of their time. And one thing I want everyone, and especially the representatives, all the representatives to know is it's not because the knives are just the only thing we make. And it's not because they're so much better than the flatware or the cookware. It's simply because during the training process, given the amount of time, the managers just can't teach you all about the knives, all about the cookware, and all about the flatware in a 2 or 3 day training seminar. It's just not efficient, and it's not in your best interest. So we start with the knives because they're what Cutco really gets its name from. But I really want you guys to know that our flatware and our cookware are just as high quality as the knives. Our customers love them just as much as they do the knives. And so I'm going to walk through my approach and a little bit of the history of the flatware, the real selling points of it, how to build value the right way, and also how to leverage the discount that Cutco has already provided to help you guys add these onto your orders. So if that sounds good, can I get a thumbs up? Awesome. So first thing is about learning what's unique about our flatware and using that to help the customers place an order. So when it comes to the flatware, I always ask permission, either on the demo or on the service call. I always ask permission to show the customer the flatware. Now, what I'm going to do is this. For the interest of time, I'm going to go through my approach. I'm going to actually email this out to Ben, who can forward it to your managers, and you can get this. So I do want you guys to take notes. But I'm going to go through it pretty quickly at the first time so you can actually hear my tonality, how I cover it, and how the customer hears it. Because if you hear that, you can relay that back to your customers. So Ms. Jones, actually the next package I want to show you is actually our hottest ticket right now, and it's called our Forever Legacy Flatware. Do you mind if I show you real quick? Awesome. So it's a Forever Legacy Flatware. And I just get that quick permission either on the demo, on the service call, right after I show the customer the knife sets. I just get that quick permission to show them, just to show them the flatware. So I get that permission. They say, yes. Awesome, Ms. Jones. So do you know the brand Oneida? Have you ever heard of that? Yeah, of course. So Oneida used to be the premier American-made flatware brand made in New York, actually close to Cutco's headquarters through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and early 80s. Well, about 10 years ago, Cutco actually purchased the manufacturing equipment that Oneida used to use. And unfortunately, the name Oneida was bought out by a Chinese manufacturer. So you can actually find Oneida, but it's poor quality stuff made, they sell this stuff in Target or Bed Bath & Beyond for like $100. So it's not high quality anymore. However, this worked really well for Cutco because we are now the only high quality manufacturer of American-made flatware that comes with a forever guarantee. So I want to take a quick pause right there and explain again what I did. So I asked the customers, always ask them about Oneida. Some of you may have no idea what Oneida is. I'll guarantee you 9 out of 10 customers that you see know the name Oneida, know the brand, because it really, for decades and decades, I'm sure your parents have some Oneida, I'm sure your grandparents have some. For decades, this was the brand of flatware to get. So just how we name drop and talk about like Hinkle's, Wusthof, Schoen with the knives, other high-end brands that they may have heard of, we do the same thing with the flatware. What is true is we purchased all the manufacturing equipment that they used to use. We were outsourced in Mexico for a while, but we actually purchased that equipment so that we could manufacture that flatware here. Now, to my knowledge, there's only one other brand, period, of American-made flatware. And you notice that when I said we're the only high-quality manufacturer of American-made flatware that does what? Comes with a forever guarantee. So this way we're being very transparent with our customers. But I do want you guys to know there's literally 2 brands. The other one's, it's called, I can't even remember what it is. You can look it up, but it's not Cutco and it's not our quality. So I do like to give a quick history first, and then I start the value. Now, what's nice about our flatware pattern, Ms. Jones, is that it's not too heavy. So you want to handle that objection, but it's also not too light. So we literally cover both bases before we hand the customer the flatware. Now, quick note, then you can help me relay this, but guys, you don't have to have it to sell, but you literally need to get the sample of the flatware. I mean, here's how I always justify these type of things and investments in my business. If I buy this sample set of flatware that comes with the stainless steel forks and spoon, guys, if you sell one chest during this push, it has more than paid for itself, really 10 times over based on the value of this. So invest in this so you can actually show it. Most customers want to see the flatware before they make a purchase. They may not need to see every single knife in the Ultimate to get the Ultimate, but they do want to see the 5 pieces of the flatware. So invest in your business, talk to your manager about how you can get this and get this quickly so that you can put this in your customer's hand. What's important when I talk about the pattern's not too heavy and it's not too light, I want to actually cover that before I put it in their hands. So for those of you that have already invested in your business and have already purchased the flatware samples, you want to handle that objection before you give it to them. Otherwise, their first impression is going to be, oh, it's too heavy. Oh, it's too light. And that really shuts down the interest. So handle that up front. So Ms. Jones, what's nice about our pattern is that it's not too heavy and it's not too light, but it's super durable because we use the best stainless steel available, which is 1810. See, Ms. Jones, there's different grades of flatware. You know, there's 18-0, 18-2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 18-0, 18-2. This is the cheap stuff. This is the stuff you get at Walmart that you can just bend in half like this. It's what they served in high school cafeteria. Like, it's the cheapest stuff you can get. 1810 is the other end of the spectrum. That's your highest quality. It's really the best metal, period, for flatware, second only to grandma sterling silver. And we know with silver, Ms. Jones, it's nice, but polishing it is really kind of tedious. So Cutco wanted to make something that looks nice enough for formal events, dinner parties, family get-togethers, holidays, reunions. But really, we wanted to make it super durable for everyday use. So I want to pause right there. We wanted to make something that looks really nice, really elegant for formal events, dinner parties, family get-togethers, reunions, any type of big gathering with a lot of people. But really, Ms. Jones, we wanted to make it durable enough for everyday use every single day. We carefully polished everything with the flatware. We polished the outside. We polished around the tines with the Forever Luster, just like a nice ring or a bracelet where they're actually polishing every little intricacy. We do the same thing, just like it was an expensive piece of jewelry. So what I'm doing here is I'm relating the flatware to something else expensive like jewelry, but I'm also explaining how Cutco takes the time to and the care to make sure this looks 100% as good as it possibly can. So Ms. Jones, this looks amazing. If you take a quick look, you'll notice how the Forever pattern here with the upside down V and the other V, they look like looks like the universal wedge lock handle. This is actually meant to match your kitchen knife set. So everything in your kitchen, again, looks well, it's matched, it's coordinated, and it flows well together. Kind of like Apple products. You know, I think about Ms. Jones, and this is a great thing. Please write this one down, and you'll get this in the notes, but write this one down. Ms. Jones, like our Cutco kitchen, and like I mentioned, it comes with the knife set and then the flatware and then the cookware. It's kind of like Apple products. You know, you have your MacBook, you have your iPad, you have your iPhone, you have your Apple Watch. All of these things are high-ticket items, but they're meant to make our life easier. They're meant to match. They're meant to flow well. They're meant to sync. This is the same thing for the Cutco kitchen in your kitchen. The knives have their purpose, but they sync well with the cookware and the flatware, so everything looks good together. So you'll take a quick look. You'll notice how the Forever pattern is meant to match. Now, the metal, the 1810, it never pits, it never rusts, and it never corrodes. But if something ever did happen to it, we would actually replace it as part of the Cutco warranty. As a matter of fact, Ms. Jones, our flatware can actually be used in the dishwasher. And even if something happens, like it gets dropped in the garbage disposal or the kid throws it in the Vitamix blender or whatever and it gets a nick in the blade, you can literally just mail that right back to the factory and they're going to send you new stuff. Last thing I'll tell you about that is, like, with the pattern, we haven't confused our clients like Oneida used to do by making 500 different patterns. Meaning, if you bought flatware from the 50s and you lost your pattern, or you lost a couple forks and spoons 10 years later, well, it's a pain to try to get that replaced. With us, we've made that one design that, again, looks elegant. It's meant to flow well with the knives. And that also means in 30 years, 50 years, if you've lost a fork, you come right to me, or you go right to cutco.com and order that fork. So what I'm doing here through this whole process is a lot. I'm educating customers on the different types of stainless steel, just like we do when we're doing our demos and we're talking about carbon steel versus stainless steel versus what we use. I'm explaining that we use the best type of metal. I'm explaining that it's elegant enough and it looks high quality enough that you can use it for the dinner parties, but also use it for everyday use. I explain the care that it takes, that we actually take in polishing this and making sure it looks tip-top shape right from the factory. I also explain the pattern and why the pattern matters, and that's why we chose it to match the pattern of our knives. I've also explained that the metal, again, will never pit, rust, or corrode, just like our steel for our knives. And I've also explained that it's under our Cutco warranty. So if you think about that, what I've essentially done is just the same features and benefits that you guys are already doing for the knives. I've just related that to the info for the flatware. Okay. So I moved from that part to the table knives. And of course, if any of you have felt our stainless steel table knives, they are super high quality. They're a little heavier than the normal table knives. They're actually heavier enough that a customer can easily feel that. So there's a couple ways to approach this on your appointments. If you're doing a service call, or you're seeing someone that already owns Cutco, and you've already talked about the knives, and maybe they're not looking to add any more of the normal table knives, it's easier to actually sell them the stainless steel ones. Because, hey, Ms. Jones, you know how much you love your smaller table knives? You know, you probably use those for everyday use. They look and operate amazing, but if you set that black or that white table knife next to your flatware, it doesn't look the best. Doesn't look bad, and this is important. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look the best. And that's why we actually have our stainless steel table knives. Now, feel the difference. And what I'll do, if I'm with someone that already owns Cutco, I'm going to grab one of their table knives and hand it to them the same time I grab a stainless steel one and hand it to them. And they'll do the little weight thing where they're actually like they're lifting weights. And it's just an easy feel. The stainless steel guys feel really good. They feel so much better. So if the customer does not, so let's say you're on a demo and you've just presented the sets and the customers love the smaller table knives already, what you can do is actually say, well, so Ms. Jones, I know you were looking at like the small table knives in the set, and you can definitely still do those for everyday use. What a lot of my customers do, when they look at the flatware, is they know that these already come in the flatware set. So they just do the bigger steak knives in the knife block, aka the SIG or the complete set. That way they have the big steak knives, but then they have their table knives, which are actually going to set the table with. So you know how the normal table knives are for everyday and a little more casual? Well, they cut amazing, but they don't look the best next to our flatware. So that's what we've done, is create our stainless steel version. These are weighted, and again, they match the flatware seamlessly. As a matter of fact, besides the price, Ms. Jones, this is actually the reason I love our flatware so much and why my customers love it. And that's really because we're the only flatware set that comes with a sharp knife in the setting instead of just a cheap, dull butter knife, which barely cuts anything. Guys, this is a huge advantage for us, is that we actually manufacture the stainless steel table knife that cuts just like our kitchen knives. Every other flatware set that I know comes with grandma's little butter knives. And you guys know, like, everyone has all those and they really never use them because they're not sharp. So there you go. That's another advantage for us. As far as the package, it comes in a 12-place setting kit, and it does come with a storage chest, which most people just take it out and just put it in the drawer anyway for everyday use. So that whole section is my value section. That's where I do my features and benefits. That's where, if we relate this to the demo, this is where value is built. So it's, again, the same thing as, it's just like the knife demo. We give a quick history on the Flatware, just like we do with a quick history of Cutco. We build the value the same way. We build a little bit of need in there, and that's actually coming right now. So handling objections and the price conditioning side. So one of the biggest objections we get when we present this is, oh, honey, we have Flatware. I've inherited my mom's set of silver, and we've got this and we've got that. And, you know, guys, everyone does. So why don't we just handle that objection up front? Everyone has Flatware. No one's buying plastic forks and spoons and eating already. Like, everyone you're ever going to see has Flatware. And I'm even very transparent with my customers and just tell them, like, you know, it's same thing with the knives. Miss Jones, if I waited for someone to just not have any knives to buy it, or just not have forks and spoons, or not have any pots and pans, Cutco would have been out of business. Like, if we just waited for people that have none of that to buy it, we'd be out of business. The reason people love our stuff is it's a higher quality, it has the forever guarantee, and it's meant to last forever, not because someone doesn't have that stuff already. But here's specifically what I'll say for our Flatware. Miss Jones, I'm sure you have tons of Flatware, because, hey, every single person that I've ever met has tons of Flatware. But everyone got a set a few different ways. They got the set when they got married. They've inherited some stuff from their parents or their grandparents when they passed away. You maybe even have picked up a doorbuster deal at Target or Bed Bath & Beyond or Kohl's, or, you know, you name it, that just went on a crazy sale. But you've never had a new set that looks like this, is Cutco quality, and lasts forever. But you've never had a new set that looks like this, is Cutco quality, and lasts forever. By the way, how long have you and your husband been married for? By the way, how long have you guys been married for? Awesome. Yes. So 15 years. Awesome. So what most of my customers do is actually they justify this as an anniversary gift, because it's really just, again, meant to replace the hodgepodge of stuff and actually get you a good set that can create the family legacy, because you're actually going to pass this down to your kids, and they're going to pass it down to their kids. Now, for the fun part, Miss Jones, are you ready to hear how much this stuff costs? Yes. Okay. So you're getting 12 place settings. Everyone wants service for 12. Everything else in the kitchen comes with service for 12, just like our Flatware chest. And Miss Jones, you're actually getting both the 3-piece hostess set and the 3-piece serving set. Now, for those of you guys that maybe don't know this right now, if you look in your blue books, you'll see the storage chest in there. You'll also see 6 pieces that are generally together. You can explain this by saying, so you get the 12 place settings and you just sell them on the chest and then try to upsell them. That's one way to do it. I just like combining both together. I like combining the idea that with our Flatware package, like, everyone's going to want the serving pieces anyway. So, and I also did a little psychological trick. Instead of saying that they're getting the 12 place setting Flatware chest and the 6-piece accessories, I build a little extra value just by splitting those up. So you get the 12 place setting chest, and you get both the 3-piece set and the 3-piece serving set. So it's an extra, but it's really the same. So you're getting 66 pieces. Miss Jones, it's not going to be cheap. At this point, they already know, based on what we've said, that it's not. But I just, again, like saying that before I quote prices. Miss Jones, you're getting 66 pieces of this, so it's not going to be cheap. On average, each piece is valued at about $35. Again, it's not going to be cheap, but it's worth it, and it's valued, total value, at $2,286. So, quick pause. If you guys know your price list, you know that the Flatware chest sells for $13.99. But if you've ever actually looked, if you've ever actually pieced every single piece out, which Cutco.com has conveniently done for us, they show you that the Flatware chest itself is valued at $2,100. Plus, when you add in the 3-piece hostess and the 3-piece serving, for 186. So the total retail value is 2286. Okay, that's what I want. That's what I want to use as leverage now when I'm going to sell this, is that, hey, the value of this is like a car being valued at 50 grand, but we're selling it 40% off. I'm not just focused on what the 40% off price is. I'm focused on what the actual car is valued at to sell that car. It's the same way here. We want to leverage the fact that Cutco has already packaged this in and discount it for us, and this is how we do it. So, Ms. Jones, it's worth and valued at $22.86, but we actually have it on promotion for $15.95. Now, what is that $15.95 price? What that $15.95 price is the $13.99 for the flatware chest plus the $186 for the serving pieces. So they're still paying full price as to what we know we sell it at, but just from there, the customer is getting $700 off. So let's do a quick look at the discount there. And this is, guys, this is nothing you've done. This is straight from Cutco. They're getting 30% off, straight off the top. Now, here's the other thing I do. If a customer's just looking at flatware, so let's say you run into somebody that has a complete set of the knives and there's really no other knives that they're wanting, or you're looking at something like that, and they just are looking at the flatware, I'm going to stick to that $15.95 price as long as I can. I'm not going to just, you may have heard, and some of you may know this, that yes, we could sell it at $13.99 and give them the 6-piece stainless for free right off the bat. You can do that, and that's how I used to sell. But really what that comes down to is it's kind of like easing your way out of it. Like, there's a better way. You can start higher and still finish higher, and customers are going to pay $15.95 for the flatware. So why not spend a little time there? So we actually have it on promotion for $15.95. Now, on the flip side of that, so that's if we're just selling it to customers, I'm going to stick at $15.95 if they're just looking at flatware. If a customer's, let's say they're already looking at a knife set, like let's say you guys have either already sold them a set of knives, or you already know, like, hey, she's feeling this homemaker, she's feeling this signature set or ultimate. What I'm going to do is drop a little nugget here. But we have it on promotion for $15.95. But because of the timing and because of this huge contest we're in, when you package the flatware with the knife set, the entire flatware discounts to $13.99, meaning you're getting a total of 40% off of the flatware chest when you package it with the knives. You can actually do this over 5 months on what's called our 5-month easy pay system, and that comes to about $280 a month. So I'm going to backtrack there because I talked a lot of numbers and I see a couple glazed over looks. So let's go back over this real quick. I think I still have a minute or two. All right. So flatware, again, Ms. Jones, it's worth and valued at $22.86, but we actually have it on promotion for $15.95. Because of the timing, though, because of this huge contest I mentioned when I shared my goals, SC2, when you package this with your knife set, the discount drops it from $15.95 an extra $200 off to $13.99, meaning you're getting basically, Ms. Jones, you're getting a $2,300 set, $900 off. I'll tell you, Ms. Jones, in terms of things Cutco discounts, nothing else resembles a 40% discount. Like, the knives are obviously the best, a great value, but nothing else Cutco sells has discounted this much. That's why my customers love taking advantage of this in July. So that discounts to $13.99. You get 40% off. Over the 5 pay, it's $280 a month. So I'm going to pause real quick. There's one other thing I want to talk about, and this is not flatware real quick, but this relates to the easy pay, and I really think it's going to help all of you when you're closing. And so I'm sure Ben would like me to go ahead and share it, so I'm just going to throw it in here. So this is amazing verbiage that I've used to explain the 5-month easy pay. And it really helps when selling Christmas gifts. It helps when selling the knife set, whatever. But Ms. Jones, so what we actually do is our 5-month easy pay system. Essentially what this does, and I would make sure to write this down, guys, what this does is it allows you to split your order up over 5 months completely interest free. Now you throw 20% down so you can take advantage. This is the killer line. Ms. Jones, this allows you to take advantage of the discount today. This allows you to take advantage of the Christmas and July sale. It allows you to take advantage of this push I'm in and our best pricing. So this allows you to take advantage of something. I like to say this allows you to take advantage of the discount today without the entire financial obligation. So this allows you to take advantage of the discount today without the entire financial obligation. So you just put 20% down, then it's just drafted next month, it's easy. 5 months, easy pay, set it and forget it. So that's what I have, guys, about the Flatware. I want to, I'm going to send this out, like I said, but I want to see if anyone has any questions, if there's any managers that maybe want to ask, if Ben wants to ask anything, or if any of the representatives want to ask anything. Any questions about like selling the Flatware, handling objections, building the value, quoting the prices? What you got for me?
Justin, if you got 5 minutes, I think I gave him a heads up that we might be a little bit longer this morning, so we'll take 5 on a little bit of Q&A if anybody has any.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Sure.
This is Miranda. She's one of our branches, Justin. I think you've met Miranda. She's in Somerville.
Yes. Awesome.
Hey, so when you handle the objection, like Miss Jones, I'm sure you have tons of Flatware, blah, blah, blah. When do you say that? Is that after you build up the value in the history, or is that more so in the beginning?
Yeah, so that's after history, after value. So what I've done is I want to just get permission to show them, right? So we get that permission. We just jump right into history and we jump right into value. Like if I've gotten the yes, it's okay for you to show me, history, value, and then when I'm handling objections and doing the price conditioning, right before I do that is when I say that. So it generally comes after, you know, the part where I talked about explaining the stainless steel table knives, I basically did this for you guys like I do it for my customers, like in that order. So after I explain our stainless steel table knives, after I explain that the package comes in a 12 setting kit and comes with the chest, but most people put it in the drawer, then I go right into, and Ms. Jones, I'm sure you guys have tons of Flatware because you know what? Everyone does. Cool.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Good question.
I have a question.
Okay.
So you said that you ask permission. What happens if like Miss Jones is like, no, I'm not interested in seeing that?
Yes. So the way I sell is if a customer is just not interested in at least seeing it, like looking at it, I'm not going to spend my time on it.
Okay.
Right? Because if I try to sell a customer something that they literally have told me they have zero interest in seeing, I'm going to lose trust. And so what I think's important though is just to go right from that into another big package item. So when I sell either on demos or service calls, I don't focus on I do sell ice cream scoops and gadgets and stuff, but my focus is not on selling these little things. My focus is on, hey, how can I create a big package here? How can I go to an upgrade? How can I create a knife set? How do I sell Flatware? And if I can't sell Flatware, how do I sell cookware? And if I can't sell cookware, or maybe I'm selling all these things, how can I take care of their entire Christmas shopping list? Right? So if a customer does say no, I think it's very important to ask the right way though. So that's a great question. I'm just going to go back over this because really most people will at least say, well, you can show me. You can show me, but I don't know if we're going to get it. Well, I don't know if we really need it, but yeah, you can show me. So here's how I say this. Ms. Jones, the next package I want to show you is actually our hottest ticket right now. Guess what? Because we've explained that this is our hottest ticket, customers are probably going to at least want to hear about it. And it's our Forever Legacy Flatware. Do you mind if I just show you real quick? it's hard to say no to that. You know, if you ask it the right way, if you're just like, hey, Miss Jones, can I show you our flatware? Yeah, they're going to say no. But Miss Jones, the next package I want to show you is actually our hottest ticket right now. It's our Forever Legacy flatware. Do you mind if I show you real quick? And if it's still a no, guess what? Move on to cookware. Move on to the other part of the demo. Move on to the gifts. And that's okay. But good question. Just assume the yes. Ask the question like you want to get the yes for permission, because if you get permission, you can do your approach. Awesome. Any other questions, guys? I probably have time for one more.
Hey, Justin. Do you have any big one-liners to get people interested in getting Christmas gifts? Like, is there a paragraph or a one-line?
Yeah, sure. So I promote the heck out of Christmas in July. I mean, a lot of customers are already accustomed to hearing that with other companies. And so what I'll say is, like, towards the end of the presentation, so I do a stepwise process where it's knives, it's flatware, it's cookware, it's all the other accessories, and then it's gifts. But I say, like, because I use the gifts at the end, I say, so Miss Jones, I saved the best for last. And this is where the Christmas in July sale really gets sexy. And I'll say that. This is where the Christmas in July sale really gets sexy. And what my customers love doing in the month of July, like, I'll sell so much just over the phone and through emails, Miss Jones, because my customers know when Christmas in July sale comes, that's the time to take care of all their Christmas shopping. Why? Well, here's why. You get to take advantage of the summer pricing. You get to, before a price increase, so you get to take advantage of that pricing. You're also so far ahead of the game, Miss Jones, you're never going to have to worry about going to the malls, doing all that stuff. And because of that 5 months easy pay that I explained to you guys, so because of the 5 month easy pay, what's great, Miss Jones, is you get to actually take advantage and get any of the Christmas gifts you want, split them over 5 months, just like we talked about on the easy pay. So you're essentially doing the same thing, but instead of spending all that money in one lump sum in the month of November, December, this actually helps you budget it and make it a lot easier for you and a lot more affordable, but you're saving anywhere from 15 to 20% on all the Christmas gifts you would already be spending money on. So what I can do real quick, Miss Jones, is just talk about and just show you like what our gifts are. We can just make a quick list of who you know you're going to be buying for, and I can actually custom tailor every gift and help you find the perfect gift for everyone in your family. If it's a yes, I continue on. If they're like, we'll just stick with what we're going to do now, and then maybe in the fall or maybe after these payments are up, talk to me again. That's fine. Guys, the cool thing is this. The reason that you want to still take the time to walk through this process is if they say, you know what, Justin, we love that idea, but we really want to get the knives and the flatware or whatever paid for first. Can you just follow up with us in like November? Well, I'm still going to try to make it work here. It's not like I'm just going to give up on that easy. But if it's just like, hey, it's just not going to happen now, but they're legit interested, perfect. What we'll do, take 5 minutes and at least get the list of who they're going to buy for and the price range. That's all you need to know. Like, hey, do you typically spend, $50 to $60, $100 to $120? Is this a $200 gift? Does Aunt Sally get the $300 special? Whatever. And then I'm going to make a note. These are the people that I call back in November and say, hey, Miss Jones, back in July, we talked about blah, 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 blah. And then this is where I close them later. So I build the interest in Christmas in July. I build the value in, hey, it's better to buy in July anyway because you're basically paying July, August, September, October, November. You're able to budget that for you, so it's easier for your family to keep track of expenses. And it's also a lot easier than dropping X amount of dollars in one lump sum around the holidays. Plus, you don't have to fight Black Friday deals. You don't have to shop online and like search and scour websites. You don't have to spend time in the malls. You're able to do all this now with me in a very easy, relaxed setting. And because you're going to look at those and package those with your knives and flatware and cookware, those gifts are going to get discounted again. So, Ms. Jones, you may actually even get to take care of some of the gifts. Some of those might actually even come for free. gifts that you would still have to pay for? Good question. Well, guys, that's probably all we have time for. I really appreciate how intent you guys were on listening and taking notes. Again, I'm getting ready to email this out to Ben, who I know can forward that out to the rest of the managers. So I do think it's important to review these notes. Don't expect to be an expert on selling flatware just from my talk, but realize that you did take a couple things from this and find those things that really set in for you and made the most sense for you. And my best strategy is just slowly start implementing more and more as you go through your demo. So thank you guys. Rock your Friday.